Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do, this is kind of an intermediate episode between everything is awful.
Ein Prosit.
Hey, so welcome to Oktoberfest special, I think I'm going to call this 2.5, 2.5. After making pretzels in the last video, I kind of got the immediate idea that the next logical step was stuffed pretzels. There's a Dutch market in Germantown, Maryland, not too far from me, where they serve really amazing like pretzel dogs. So I figured I have the ability to make pretzels, pretty damn good pretzels. Let's figure out how to make pretzel dogs. So I haven't actually tried this yet, so this will be a I guess this is an episode of Hash It Out, right? Because I'm kind of going in blind. I wasn't going to film this, but I kind of decided to. This is our what I got right here is just the regular pretzel dough, the stuff we made in the second Oktoberfest video. And right now I'm just trying to work it out real flat. I don't have a rolling pin because I don't do a lot of baking. And this was kind of a spur of the moment idea. I was kind of bored, so I decided to try it. So I'm just kind of working it out with my hands here. Just using the heel of my hands and kind of just stretch and squish. Stretch and squish. So I want to get it pretty thin so that the ratio of bread to wiener is pretty good. Again, having a rolling pin would help, but I don't. But this is kind of like pizza crust the same way. If you've ever need that Cletus laugh again. If you've ever made homemade pizza dough, you can't really roll it out. You can start rolling it, but the spring from the gluten kind of makes it a little difficult. That's pretty thin. That should be thin enough. All right, so our first pretzel dog experiment is going to be really simple. Just a regular beef hot dog and a little bit of American cheese. Something like that. And then maybe I won't cut the other edge, because I don't know how far off I need to go. So let's do that. And then just roll. Trim that corner off. But the other big thing too is I want to seal these up quite well. I don't want any of the baking soda water to get inside, because that's probably not going to taste very good, especially if it can't get out. So, kind of trimming up the ends here, and you can see I don't want that either, because the cheese is not going to seal.
The audio cut out right here, and I just wanted to explain real quickly what I'm doing. I'm patching holes in the sausage with little pieces of dough, and the important takeaway is just that when you make these patches, you have to kind of mush and squish and kind of gently tap it into place rather than just band-aid them on, or they'll fall off.
Alright, so the next one I want to try is going to be, this is a bratwurst. Again, I baked all the sausages in the oven first. I forgot to mention that. Everything's already been cooked. And then I've got them sitting on paper towels, like a lot of paper towels, because I want to get any excess moisture off. I don't want any moisture inside that's going to blow this whole thing open. I want them to stay kind of as stable as possible. Bratwurst, and then a little sauerkraut that I put in a little tiny skillet with a, actually let's do it this way. Spread it out. And I cooked the sauerkraut for a little bit to kind of, again, get the excess moisture out. This is immediately more work than I thought it was going to be. It's a little more difficult than I thought. I was going to make a whole bunch of these when I was done. Let's see if that happens. I'll still do it. And just kind of close them up. This actually kind of worked out. I like this. I kind of cut it a little bit too short, but now I have to stretch it. So it'll help keep it from being too doughy and too bready. A little pop here, a little tiny hole, so I'm just going to use some excess dough and just, same thing, just kind of patch it. You're doing drywall. Alright, so the last type of pretzel dog I'm going to try to put together today is going to be, what's the best way to do this? These are little smokies, just little smoked beef sausages. And my wife requested these because she's always been a fan of the little smoky Vienna sausages. So as soon as I mentioned pretzel dogs, that was her first reaction. So let me go ahead and it's like a big lima bean. These are actually a lot easier than the other ones. I guess because they're so much smaller, a little more forgiving. Same thing. I think I like this method the best to kind of cut the dough a little smaller than you need, and then kind of stretch it around, and then just trim the excess as you go. Let's try this. This is really pushing this idea of stretching the excess, but again, the idea is to get the dough as thin as possible. Hopefully, maybe one of these will be. I guess this makes these little ones nice too, because you can kind of roll them in your hands and it gets rid of all the seams real fast. Those I actually don't mind making. These are pretty easy. We'll go ahead and do them in reverse order. Put the little guys in first. Count to 45. So they're drained off, and they look like they stayed together pretty well. I'm very happy with that. They kind of look like dumplings. So I'm gonna move them over to the tray. Hit him with a little bit of salt because the sausages are already kind of already salty to begin with, so I don't want to put too much in there. Next, let's do the bratwurst. I'm doing the hot dog and the cheese last because that's the one that concerns me the most. It's just because the cheese in the hot water can melt, and I don't know what that's going to do. So I want to get the easy ones out of the way first. You can definitely see the irregularities a little bit more when you do this, because you can see how it's just kind of bumpy and weird looking. Hopefully that'll bake out and it won't come out all, well, ugly. Go ahead and drain that off. It looks like a white turd, like a cartoon turd. Mr. Hanky, the Oktoberfest pretzel. So again, real light amount of salt because everything's already seasoned. And now the potentially troublesome one. Let's see. There's a few spots. I don't know if it's going to show up that well. You can kind of see the dough's real thin, and you can actually kind of see the cheese. I actually might try to be right back. Alright, so there's a couple spots that were just really kind of way too thin because of how poorly I did a job of wrapping this up. So I just kind of patched them up a little bit, and hopefully everything will work out. So, alright, everything seems to have come out pretty well. Didn't pop open, that's good. Drain them off. A little salt. Well, no problems in that part of the process. I'm going to go ahead and bake these at a slightly lower temperature than I did the last time for just regular pretzels, mostly because the dough's a lot thinner, and I don't want anything to burn. So I'm going to bake these at 375. I'm going to put them in for 10 minutes, and then after that I'll check them every maybe 3 minutes until they're done. Alright, so here we are. This is 15 minutes later. I had to add about 5 more minutes to the cook time. You can see not everything went exactly as I would like. The little smokies turned out like perfect. These are great. Those I'm really happy with. The bratwurst, a little bit of leakage, which you can see kind of damage the integrity. But overall, considering it's an entire sausage with sauerkraut in a pretzel, I'm pretty happy with that as well. The hot dog and cheese, though, I mean, it looks like it was just, I'm going to try to figure out, I haven't really poked around at this. It looks like just part of the dough just kind of wore thin right here, and the cheese ruptured out. I think that has to do with two things. The 15 minutes while these were cooking, I was rolling the rest of the sausages into the dough to save for later. And one thing I noticed was the sausages that I started with, after I just finished one of the last ones, the ones I started, the seams had started to come back apart. So I think it might be, A, use more pretzel dough. Don't try to go so thin. I mean, I like the outcome where the coating's really thin. I really do. That's exactly what I wanted. but I think you just sacrifice integrity to do that. And B, I think you need to wrap them, get them all like nice and situated, then let them hang out for a second so the dough can kind of contract, and then see if there's going to be any seams or holes that you need to kind of reseal, and then go about the process. I'll definitely be revisiting this. I want to do a whole thing about like a football game, like Sunday snacks, like if you're going to have people over. Like you go kind of man snacks, not like frou-frou-y, like, you know, dips and whatnot. Stuff that's easy that you can make up ahead of time. That's not going to be, that's got to be finger food. I got a whole thing. I'm not going to go through it now. But I'll definitely be talking about like hot dog and sausage stuffed pretzels again in the future. Again, this was just a quick little 2.5 for Oktoberfest while I figure out what the remaining videos for the month will be. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did not, let me know. If you did, let me know. Please like, favorite, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching.
Der Gemüt